Hi, I'm Dr. Pratis Berry, and I want to tell you a story. When I was 14, I knew that I wanted to be a sociologist. Now, most young folks at 14 don't even know what a sociologist is. In fact, I'm still telling grown folks what a sociologist is. Anyway, it happened in a really unique way, a way that most people would find as disappointment, but for me, it was really an appointment into where I wanted to be. The city of Wilmington had a summer job opportunity experience where you could sign up and get a job in the field that you thought you wanted to be in. I wanted to be a chemical engineer. I told you I'm from Delaware. DuPont put that dream in the drinking water. Anyway, uh, I got my assignment to work for a chemical engineer. Now, these were paid jobs, which was really a cool thing to provide young folks with an opportunity to see inside the world that they were dreaming about. So I showed up, but before I did, I used my cleaning money. I bought a beautiful linen blouse. I braided my hair perfectly. I've always worn my hair naturally, but I spent hours and hours taking braids out, putting them back in, making sure each part was exactly perfect where it needed to be. And I was ready. I was clean and ready. I show up, and the assistant, also known as gatekeeper, took one look at me and said, "Your hair is not professional, and your blouse needs to be ironed." I wanted to tell her that my braids were perfect and that my blouse was linen, and what she was seeing was not a need for an iron, but a type of fabric that looked like that. But as I stood there and she continued to um, chastise me for the way I looked, I finally heard her say, "You can't have this job. You don't know how to show up for a job. This job is not for you." Now, she wasn't the chemical engineer, and she didn't have anything to do with the chemical engineer, but she determined to tell me. I can still feel that room and see that room right now. So I went back to the office that placed everybody in these jobs, and they said, "We're so sorry. We're going to call them. We're going to tell them about it." The woman in charge had a short afro, and it was beautiful, and she said, "Your hair is perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm so sorry. But the only job that's left is a file clerk in the food stamp office. Do you want it?" And I tearfully said yes. And I had used all my little bus passes to go back and forth between these jobs, so I had to walk across town to the food stamp office. I was tired, hot, but still ready to do whatever job there was. I got there, and the first thing that happened was the woman who was in charge looked at my hair and said, "Oh my God, your hair is fabulous. Who did this?" And I told her I did. And she showed me around up to everybody, telling them that I was going to be the new file clerk and showing them my hair. She bragged about it. I did my job filing and filing and filing, but I would be done so quickly because I had been a cleaner. I had another job cleaning, and I knew how to work hard. So I would get done quickly, and then I started reading files, and I started noticing some patterns. There were addresses that were getting more food stamps that should, and there were families that were being denied when they shouldn't have been denied. Maybe there was one piece of information that was missing or something else. And so I started doing keeping a log of this and a cross tabulation and kind of looking at it and analyzing the patterns. And I could see which caseworkers were making the mistakes, and I could see all of this. And so one day the woman in charge came looking for me, and she found me, and she said, "What are you doing?" And "You're not supposed, you're just filing them away." And I started stuttering, and she said, "Well, what do you have here?" And I showed her, and she looked at it, and she said, "Oh my goodness, you're analyzing the data." I didn't know what that statement meant. She said, "Look at you. Wow." And she looked me in my face and she said, "I'm a social worker. I try to fix a problem when it happens. You have an analytical mind. You should become a sociologist so you can study the things before they happen and help generate policy to change things. What? So from that day on, people would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'd say, "A sociologist." And I started studying it and reading the works of Durkheim and Weber and Franklin and all these folks. And it became a thing for me at 14. So I have an undergraduate degree and a master's degree and a PhD, all in sociology, because of that day that that woman told me that I wasn't professional. We have moments that turn us away from the path that we think we're going on, that we're meant to be on, where we should be. And we can sit in despair and worry because that moment happened. Or we can use what's happening, analyze the data, look at what we know, use every talent, skill, and ability in our arsenal to make a difference. Coronavirus is here. That underlying pandemic of systemic racism has been here. These things have stopped us in our track. We don't have any more bus passes to get to where we need to go, and we got to find another way. Once we get there, there will be those who are also there who didn't plan on necessarily being in that spot. But use all of your talents and abilities and ability to look down the road and see what's coming to make a difference for our future. I know we can. I know we should. Some of you will. But that's all we need. That's all we need. I love you.